Oh. 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 Shri Krishna has shared with Prince Arjuna, be determined, be inspired. He zooms into this and shares with Prince Arjuna, practice and simplify. Vairagya means to be independent, to be relieved, to simplify. In this samvada, or dialogue, Prince Arjuna comes back and says, Ayati shraddhayo petaha. I am faith-filled. Still, I'm unable to practice fully. The more faith we have, the more we will follow. That's the case for the world. If you have faith in a certain restaurant, that it's clean and tasty, you will go there more. If you don't have faith in a restaurant that it's clean, why would you go there? The more faith, the more we will follow. And how is faith facilitated, nurtured? Manana. That's the connection where Sri Krishna says, Abhyasa. How do you practice? Reflect. Engage in manana. You will have more faith then. You will follow more then. When we reflect, all that Sri Krishna is teaching becomes more rational. And the way that we're living and thinking is irrational. That change has to take place. Yoga chalita manasaha. I'm unable to follow. My mind keeps wandering from yoga, that is contemplation. A practical reason for this is we are egotistical. What does the ego do? Identifies. We identify with everything. A certain chair in a cafeteria, a parking spot in an office building, a pencil, a pen, people. And we do this with our thoughts. When we're contemplating, a thought about the woodpecker outside or traffic comes to our mind. And since we identify with that, another thought is formed from that. And another and another. Someone described this to me as a sentence that never ends. Like when our children speak, their sentences don't end. It's we did this and then we're going to do this and. What should we do? Instead of identifying more, observe more. Be an organized personality. Be an observant personality. The less you identify, the less impact that experience, that thought will have on you. What I mean by this in a deep sense, less vasanas will be formed. The more you identify, the more vasanas. The less you identify, the less vasanas. Aprapya yoga samsiddhim. Because of this, I cannot complete yoga, contemplation. The purpose of yoga, specifically contemplation, is samsiddhim, which means completeness or contentment. Any other purpose you share is not the final purpose of yoga. Playing on this word, siddhi. A lot of organizations and teachers, they propagate siddhis overtly, covertly. Once, Rishi Tukarama, a great personality, better known in Maharashtra. He was in the northern part of Bharat, and he was engaged in tapa, which means he was remembering God. And Bhagavan Narayana was pleased with him, so Bhagavan Narayana sent Riddhi and Siddhi. These are personalities that represent power. And they went to Rishi Tukarama and said, God is pleased with you. What boon do you want? And Rishi Tukarama said, I don't want any Riddhi or Siddhi. You go back to Bhagavan Narayana. So they came back and reported to Bhagavan Narayana. And he said, but I have to give a boon. I've thought it. I've said it. Now this has to happen. So they go back to Rishi Tukarama and stated this. And he said, fine, here's my boon. Leave me alone. He was so fulfilled just remembering Bhagwan. His boon is leave me alone. Now imagine Riddhi and Siddhi came to you, that I can do anything for you. Really? Please come back later after I thought about this for some time. That's yoga samsiddhim. Kam gatim Krishna gacchati. If this is my experience, where will I go? And how thoughtfully Prince Arjuna knows that this is a journey. If I don't reach the ends, where will I go? He zooms into this question in verse 38. Kachinno bhaya vibrashtaha chinnabram iva nashyati apratishto mahabaho vimudho brahmanah pati. First quarter. Ubhaya brashtaha. Ubhaya vibrashtaha. The one who has fallen from both. Kachin, where did they go? If I fall from both, where will I fall into? Here, falling from both, the implication of this is Prince Arjuna's trying to live by karma yoga, jnana yoga, and now dhyana yoga. But what if he dies trying? In him dying, he has neither discovered peace, he's not completed dhyana yoga, but he's living in a disciplined way, which means he's also not living by pleasure. Correct? If he didn't follow karma yoga, at least he would have pleasure. He could sleep in a comfortable bed and eat a lot. But here he is, neither there nor here. Do you all feel like that sometimes? Especially in meaningful mornings. We have no idea what Vivekji is talking about. and we're not sleeping. So this is us. And he gives an example. Chinna abram iva nashati. Abram is a cloud. Chinna, a cloud that is separated from the main part of that cloud. What happens to it? Nashati. That cloud that has been separated slowly breaks apart and disappears. Can you all see that visualization? Okay. If you remember, in chapter 2, verse 67, Sri Krishna says, Vayur navam iva ambasi. The one whose senses are not directed, they're like a boat that is carried away by the wind. In this chapter, Sri Krishna shares, Yatha dipo nivatasto, which means a lamp in a windless place. So Sri Krishna shares two examples involving the wind. And now Prince Arjuna is sharing the same. Earlier he said, Vayor eva sudushkaram. That contemplating is like trying to control the wind. And now he's giving one more example. You may think that I'm confusing you with these details. What I'm trying to do is show you how Prince Arjuna is trying to personalize what is being taught. He's listened carefully how Sri Krishna is using the wind to teach Prince Arjuna, and he's reflecting on that. And that's why when he's responding, he's using the same comparison. So he is trying. This is what is being emphasized. He is sincere, but still, apratishto mahabaho. Sri Krishna keeps calling Prince Arjuna Mahabaho. Here Prince Arjuna is calling Sri Krishna Mahabaho. They have a lot of love between each other. He's sharing here, you are Mahabaho, not me. He's sharing, I am going to die in this war, but you are not going to die. That is what he's sensing outwardly. But what's happening outwardly is really a projection of what is happening inwardly. He is dejected. And what's powerful about this is he knows his dejection. It's like if I go to a physician and they don't know what's wrong with my health, they can't help me then or help me as much. But if they know, they can help me. Again, Prince Arjuna knows his problem. And this will become more clear in the next verse. Vimudaha brahmanaha pati. Brahmanaha pati. The path to Brahman, to infinity. See, the word pati is like pata for those in our 100 steps to infinity class. Vimudaha, I am confused. I'm confused on how do I follow this path to the end? Okay. This verse, like the previous one and the next one, all of these verses are about dejection. And Prince Arjuna is externalizing this to death. Not externalizing this, but keeping this internal. A good person feels dejected when they do that which is wrong. We can all relate to that. If a good person does that which is wrong, they feel dejected. They feel that they can't continue being a good person. They start to feel, I'm a bad person. But more refined, and this is where we should be aspiring for and feeling, a great person, they feel dejected when they compromise. Their standards are higher. Their expectations of themselves is more. They don't do that which is wrong. They only compromise on greatness. Then they feel dejected. And I'm sure we can relate to that too. When we react to someone, if you're a sensitive personality, you feel dejected. I'm investing so much in self-development and still I can't be a responsive personality. So please don't project this into death. There's a fine chance that no one here will die today. But there's also a fine chance that we will feel dejected today. What should you do when you feel dejected? Shri Krishna will share the solution soon. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Oh. Appreciate, relax, enjoy, chant, inquire. The first covering on our center is the ego, which separates and concurrently identifies. the way to pull back the ego, to remove this covering, is to observe. Observe your lifestyle, all that is happening outside of the body. Be balanced, focused, and reflective, to not identify with the lifestyle, rather to observe this. Be the sakshi. Just watch. Intensify your practice, your observation from the lifestyle to the body. Observe what is happening to the body, in the body. All of the verbs associated with the body. Watch these. Observe the pressure in your knees. Observe the arc of your neck. Observe your heart beating. Be vigilant to just watch without labeling or liking. Without interpreting or expanding. Observe the body like it's not your body. Observe the body like you are a scientist and it is dead. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.